like, we gotta get to Strat bad, like really fast, because I just found out this grain is causing the plague, which we expected, but it's turning them undead. This is what the undead's coming from. Uther's like, by the light. What the hell? Uther's like the most badass paladin in the world, by the way. He's like my favorite character, probably. And Jaina's like, no way, that's bullshit. Okay, let's go. So on their way to Stratholme, Medivh shows up, who has already tried, like this happened, Warcraft 3, I haven't mentioned it yet because it hasn't happened to Arthas, and I'm trying to stick to Arthas. But Medivh is the flying bird mage guy. I have a Warcraft 101 on him. He's basically the prophet in this in Warcraft 3, and he's trying to get all the races to come together because he knows what the Burning Legion is, and he's saying something horrible's coming. Like, this undead is, it's the beginning of it, but it's going to be much bigger. You guys need to take your shit, go to Kalimdor, the other continent, and, reconcile there, and to fight this thing. You guys need to come together over there because this land is pretty much lost. Arthas gets pissed at this, and he's heard of this prophet because his dad, he came to his dad, the king, already and tried to get him to do this, and the king was like, no, this land has stood for a long time against the orcs and blah blah blah. Arthas kind of has the same attitude. He's like, no, this is our land, this is our people, we're going to defend it, this is what we do. Like, we don't need to move, we need to save our land here, we don't need to leave. And Jaina's heard of this prophet. He's like, you're the prophet that came to Antonius, because Medivh even went to him and said, leader of the Kirin Tor, you need to get out of here, go to Kalimdor, this land is lost, something huge is coming, and you guys need to team up over there to fight this thing. And Antonius said the same thing. We're the Kirin Tor, we have all this magic around us, we'll be alright. Medivh's like, shit, and no one's listening. He did go to Thrall, and Thrall did listen. Thrall, the new war chief of this new horde, because Thrall, escaped internment, of course, and went to Thrall and told him the same thing. You need to go to Kalimdor, and for whatever reason, because Thrall's a more spiritual person, because of shamanistic ways, probably, believed this prophet, and he got all his people and went to Kalimdor. He's the only one that went. The humans didn't. Kirin Tor, whose humans also didn't. So Medivh is trying to get all these people to go. None of them are. So again, he stopped Arthas in his path on his way to Stratholme. He's like, don't go there. It's a bad place. It's already lost. Arthas says, F it. Jaina sees this guy. He's like, maybe we should listen to him. But, of course, her loyalties lie with Arthas. And so she says, F it. Medivh fails again to get him to go over there. And Medivh's like, petty fools, leaves, tries to do a crow, flies away. So they get to Stratholme. And this is the culling of Stratholme. This is like a huge event. He gets there, and he smells, right when he gets there, it's not destroyed yet, but he smells bread being baked, and like a representative of Stratholme shows up, and he's like, oh, Arthas, there's undead, they've been attacking, but we've been able to fend them off for a while. He's like, thanks for coming, Prince. And he's like, the grain, has it arrived from Anderhall yet? To the guy, and the guy's like, oh yes, don't worry, it's already been baked into bread, and it's already been distributed amongst the people. And Arthas is like, fuck. Are you serious? And the guy's like, yeah. And he's like, we need to keep our strength up to fight, this thing and blah blah. And Arthas is, this is when Arthas turns. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Here's my theory on it. Arthas is good and means to do good, but in trying to save his people, he goes too far right here. And this is kind of, there's no turning back at this point. And he tells Uther and he tells Jaina, and he's like, we've got to purge the city. We've got to kill all the people. They're going to turn in this undead, and we're going to have to kill them anyway once they turn undead. And Jaina's like, we can't kill these people. They're not undead. They're villagers. They're your people. They're your citizens. We're here to protect them. And he's like, they can't be protected. They've already been infected. Jaina's like, we don't know that. We don't know everyone ate the bread. And Uther's like, boy, what are you thinking? You stand for the light. You protect the innocent. You're a paladin. This is not part of it. And he's like, damn you, Uther. This is bullshit. We have to do this. Like, what are we going to do? We're just going to let him turn into undead? Nobody wants to be turned into that. Arthas turns to Thalric, who's like his second in command of his little army, and Thalric's like, I'm behind you. I would rather die than turn into one of those. And Arthas is like, see this shit? We have to do this. And Jaina's like, can't even believe what she's hearing, and I can't even believe what I'm reading and what I saw in Warcraft 3 when I first played it. I'm like, Arthas, what are you doing? Meanwhile, Mal'Ganis is in the city and he knows it, and he wants to get Mal'Ganis too. And he's like, Mal'Ganis is here, we gotta kill him. We can't let this spread any further. Uther's like, boy, you may be my prince, but I will not take any part of this, and you cannot tell me. And Arthas is pissed at Uther. He's like, then I strip you, then you're out of the silver hand, as if he has any power to do this. And Uther's like, I'm leaving, boy. And Uther looks at Jaina and is like, Jaina, let's go. And Jaina looks at Arthas and looks at Uther. And they just got rekindled. They've decided to be in a relationship again. And Jaina's like, Arthas, are you sure you want to do this? Seriously, they could not be infected. They could survive this. We can find a cure sometime later. You know, let me go back to the Kirin Tor. Let me talk to all the magic people. Maybe there's some magic cure. Arthas is like, there's no time for that. And Jaina looks at him and is like, I'm sorry. I can't be a part of this. And leaves. And so does Uther. Uther and Jaina leave, and Uther's like, sees that Jaina's troubled and pretty much crying. She's like, you did the right thing, you did the right thing. I don't know what's come over him, he's mad. Arthas watches them walk away, and he's pretty much about to cry, because Jaina, like, left him. They swore that they were going to be together again. They rekindled everything, and now he's by himself, and alone, basically. He wants to save his people, but he's alone in it, and he just feels abandoned. And he thinks of his horse, Invincible, and how he let his horse down, and he's like, I won't let these people down, I swear it. I'm not going to let my kingdom down. Jaina and Uther, they're not thinking straight. All that's important is me saving these people, because he always feels guilty about his horse dying, because it's kind of his fault. So it's all. And he looks at his army that's still, a lot of them left. A lot of them left with Uther and Jaina, and was like, you're crazy, Arthas. And a lot of them stayed. And he looks at the people that stayed and says, this is not going to be pretty, what we have to do here. And they pretty much do it. And it's a level in Warcraft 3, but they go around the city killing the people, and they'll like bust into a house, and there's Arthas, there's the prince of Lordaeron, the prince of their kingdom, comes into their house, and they're feeling sick, you know, because of the grain, like they're you know, they're like, oh, and the undead are attacking, they're like, oh, Arthas, thank you for coming to save us, oh, and your army's here too, well, we feel protected now. And Arthas looks at him and basically just, oh wait, no, he's got a hammer, not a sword. Arthas looks at him, and he's just like, murders him. Walks into a house, murders the citizens. People are looking at him with hope in their eyes, like, oh, we're saved. Put down. Meanwhile, Mal'Ganis is on the other side of the city, and he's just tearing it apart too, because, you know, the Burning Crusade's starting to happen. And he wants to, and he's talking to Mal'Ganis, and he's like, damn it, Mal'Ganis, you cannot have all these people. It just kind of, I don't know if they're talking mentally, but I forget how to describe it in the book, but in the game, they're kind of like back and forth, and Mal'Ganis is like trying to turn them all undead, and Arthas is trying to stop them from turning all undead. So in this whole process, Stratholme itself is being destroyed. Buildings are collapsing, catching fire, people are dying. Some of them are turning undead. Arthas is fighting these people, which makes it easier to kill the innocents, because he knows that they'll eventually turn into these people. But, you know, he has no remorse when he kills the undead, but when he kills the innocents, it kind of hurts every time. And he kills them all, women, children, and he looks at, you know, his army while it's happening, and he's not liking what he's seeing, but he thinks it has to be done, and he's just gone too far. And he eventually finds Mal'Ganis, and he's like, damn you, Mal'Ganis! And he's like, look what you made me do to my city, look what you made me do to my people, you made me kill my own people, and this is gonna stop now, and I have you now. And he goes to kill Mal'Ganis, and Mal'Ganis teleports away and says something about, I'll see you in Northrend. So he leaves and goes to Northrend, and Arthas is like, damn it, and because he got away, and Arthas decides to go to Northrend, basically, and follow Mal'Ganis, because he's just obsessed with stopping Mal'Ganis and stopping this from going any further. If this Burning Legion, which is going to happen, if this Burning Crusade is going to happen and destroy his world, Arthas is going to stop it from happening, and how's he going to stop it? He's got to stop this guy Mal'Ganis, who just went to Northrend. So Arthas and his army go after him. Jaina eventually comes back and sees Stratholme just in ruins, and is just like shocked by it all. And it's just it's too much for her, and she's just like, I can't believe Arthas did this, and blah blah blah. Uther sees it too, and goes to tell his king what his son did and all this stuff.